I'd like to call to order the May 6, 2019 regular meeting. The notice requirements provided in the Open Public Meeting Act have been satisfied. The notice of this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings of the Spotswood Borough Council on December 20, 2018. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey. We'll open with a salute to the flag. Moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Councilman Ritchie.
Here.
Councilman Rivera.
Here.
Councilman Malillo.
Here.
Councilman Kramer.
Here.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Here.
Mayor Sealy.
Here.
We have minutes for the caucus meeting, April 15, 2019.
Make a motion to pass the minutes.
Second. Second.
Councilman Ritchie.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Malillo.
Yes.
Councilman Kramer.
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Yes.
We have the minutes for the regular meeting of April 15, 2019.
Make a motion to pass minutes, 4/15/19. 4/15/19.
Second.
Councilman Ritchie.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Malillo.
Yes.
Councilman Kramer.
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Yes.
We have the minutes for the public hearing on what? I forgot. Budget, right?
The bond ordinance. Oh, yeah.
Not the bond ordinance.
No, for the budget last meeting.
The
Oh,
budget.
the meeting. Okay.
A motion.
Make a motion to pass the minutes.
Second it.
Second. Everybody's second.
Councilman Ritchie.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Malillo.
Yes.
Councilman Kramer.
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Yes.
We have an ordinance on first reading. Public hearing is set for May 20th, 2019. Bond ordinance number 2019-5. Bond ordinance providing for various water sewer utility improvements and the acquisition of various water sewer utility equipment, appropriating $190,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $180,000 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the costs thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Spotswood in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
Make a motion to pass this ordinance on first reading, advertising according to law, and set a public hearing for May 20th, 2019.
Second.
Councilman Ritchie.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Malillo.
Yes.
Councilman Kramer.
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Yes.
We have another ordinance on first reading. Public hearing is set for May 20th, 2019. Ordinance 2019-6, an ordinance amending and supplementing the salary ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood entitled an amendment to an ordinance fixing and establishing salaries and wages of certain employees of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
Make a motion to approve the ordinance. 2019-6. Make a motion.
Make a motion to pass the ordinance on first reading, advertising according to law, and set a public hearing for May 20th, 2019.
Councilman Ritchie.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Malillo.
Yes.
Councilman Kramer.
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Yes.
Council President and council members, we have resolutions under consent agenda, resolutions 2019-75 through 2019-78. I need a motion to accept the resolutions.
Make a motion, we move to 2019 75 through 78.
Second it.
In favor?
Aye. This evening, we have quite a few proclamations. Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, we'll start with yours.
Proudly, as a veteran of the United States Navy Vietnam era, I will proudly do this proclamation. Whereas the freedom and security that citizens of the United States enjoy today are the direct results of bloodshed and continued vigilance given by the United States Armed Forces over the history of our great nation, and whereas the sacrifices that such members of the United States Armed Forces and of the family members that support them have preserved the liberties that have enriched this nation, making it unique in the world community. And whereas the United States Congress in 2004 passed a resolution proclaiming May as National Military Appreciation Month, calling all Americans to remember those who gave their lives in defense of our freedom, and to honor the men and women of all of our armed forces who have served and are now serving our country, together with their families. And whereas the months of May and June were selected for this display of patriotism because during these months we celebrate Victory in Europe, VE Day, Military Spouse Day, Loyalty Day, Armed Forces Day and Week, National Day of Prayer, Memorial Day, Navy Day, Army Day, and Flag Day. Now therefore, I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with the Borough Council, do hereby proclaim the period of May 1st through June 14th, 2019 as a special time to show our appreciation for the military. I further proclaim May to be National Military Appreciation Month in the Borough of Spotswood and encourage all citizens to join us in showing our gratitude by the appropriate display of flags and ribbons during the designated period. Signed by myself, dated May 6, 2019. Thank you.
Very nice, thank you. Ted?
Whereas there are more than 900,000 law enforcement officers serving the communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Spotswood Police Department. And whereas there have been 61,995 assaults against law enforcement officers in 2017, resulting in approximately 17,902 injuries. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 21,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. And whereas this year the names of 371 officers killed in the line of duty have been added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Monument Memorial in Washington, including 158 officers who were killed during 2018, plus 213 officers who died in previous years but whose stories of sacrifice had been lost in history until now. And whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 31st Annual Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13, 2019. And whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of the National Police Week, which takes place every year during the week of May 12th through 18, though some events will take place before the official dates of Police Week 2019. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and all U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff, now therefore be it resolved that Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with the governing body, formally designates May 12th through 18th, 2019 as Police Week, and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and communities across the nation. We call upon all citizens of this community to especially honor and show our sincere appreciation to the police officers of Spotswood, led by Dr. Michael Zarrow, Chief of Police, by deed, remark, and attitude. We further encourage our citizens to observe Police Officers Memorial Day to honor those peace officers who have lost their lives and become disabled in the performance of their duty. Dated May 6, 2019, Ed Seeley, Mayor.
Thank you. You want to roll into your next one, or you want to come back to
I
it?
can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go to the next one. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the Borough of Spotswood. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, who are engineers, managers, and employees from state and local government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the borough of Spotswood to gain knowledge of and maintain a progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public programs in their community. And whereas the American Public Works Association has celebrated the annual National Public Works Week since 1960. Now therefore, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with the Borough Council and all the citizens of Spotswood, do hereby proclaim the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2019, to be National Public Works Week. And we extend our thanks to the Borough Department of Public Works, led by Director Rob Mitzelman. We call upon all the citizens, business owners, and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions the public works personnel make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Dated May 6th, 2019, Ed Seeley, Mayor.
Thank you, Ted. Larry?
Older Americans Month. Connect, create, and contribute. Whereas Spotswood includes a growing number of older Americans who enrich our community through their diverse life experiences, and whereas the Borough of Spotswood is committed to engaging and supporting older adults, their families, and caregivers, and whereas we acknowledge the importance of taking part in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being, no matter your age, and whereas through the wide array of services, programs, and activities, the Senior Resource Center, under the leadership of Donna Falkenberry, Director, empowers older citizens of Spotswood to contribute to their own health and well-being and the well-being of their fellow citizens of all ages. And whereas the Spotswood Senior Center in the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, affirms the dignity, self-worth, and independence of our older residents by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experiences, skills, and knowledge, and enabling their continued contributions to the community. Now, therefore, I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with our governing body, do hereby proclaim May 2019 to be Older Americans Month. We urge every resident to take time during this month to acknowledge older adults and the people who serve them as influential and vital parts of our community. Dated May 6, 2019, Ed Seeley, Mayor.
Thank you, Larry. Jose?
All right. EMS Strong Beyond the Call. Whereas in 1973, President Gerald Ford authorized the Emergency Medical Services Week to celebrate EMS, its practitioners, and the important work they do in responding to a medical emergency. At that time, EMS was a fluent professional, and EMS practitioners were only beginning to be recognized as a critical component of emergency medicine and public health safety net. And whereas emergency medical service is a vital public service, and whereas the member of emergency medical service teams are ready to provide life-saving care for those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden injuries. And whereas a member of emergency medical service team were career or volunteer encourage 1,000 hours of specialized training and continue education to enhance their life-saving skills. And as whereas is appreciated to recognize the value and the accomplishment of the emergency medical service provider by designating Emergency Medical Service Week. Now, therefore, it's resolved that I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, and on behalf of the Borough Council and all the citizens of Spotswood, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2019, as Emergency Medical Service Week, and extend appreciation to all the Borough Emergency Medical Technician and the continuous emergency medical service to residents of the Borough of Spotswood and the mutual aid of the residents neighboring town, dated May 6, 2019.
Thank you. All right, my turn. Kids to Parks Day. Whereas May 18th, 2019 is the 9th Kids to Parks Day, organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the third Saturday of May. And whereas Kids to Parks encourage families to get outdoors and visit America's parks. And whereas it is important to introduce a new generation to our nation's parks. And whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat the issues of childhood obesity, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, and hypocholesterolemia. So, you guys gave me a tough one. And whereas Kids to Parks Day is open to all children and adults across the country to encourage a large and diverse group of participants. And whereas Kids to Park Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and outdoors. Now therefore, I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, together with the governing body, do hereby proclaim May 18, 2019, to be Kids to Park Day in the Borough of Spotswood. We urge the residents of Spotswood to make time to take their children in their lives to a neighborhood, state, or national park. Dated May 6, 2019. Okay. Department heads? John, any comments, or department head?
Excuse me?
Department heads?
Yeah, well, you got the library has a meeting the 16th. Main Street, the Spotswood Library, the 16th, 7 o'clock. And I want to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day throughout. Have a great day. Take care of your mothers. Appreciate them. And love them. Happy Mother's Day. That's it.
Very nice, John.
Nothing.
Nothing? No? I have a couple things. I've been announcing the last few meetings, the police department's having a Tourette's walk for a young fellow in town who suffers from Tourette's. That's going to be on May 18th. The walk starts at Immaculate and goes to the Helmetta Pavilion. They're doing very well. His goal was $3,000. Last meeting I announced that he was up to $2,200. He's up to $2,600 now, so we have a couple more weeks to hit his goal. Also, I'd like to announce on May 22nd at Villa Borghese, from 5 to 7:30 p.m., the cops will be hosting Hoagies with Heroes. And along the lines of the community outreach that the police officers do in town, they received a letter from Assemblyman Daniel Benson thanking them and congratulating them on a successful Cookies with Girl Scouts. The rec department would like me to announce that they're having their annual fishing derby on May 18th from 8 to 10 a.m. at the Vo Lake. Kids 15 and under are welcome. And the Board of Ed is having their meeting tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Media Center at the high school. That's all I have. Mr. Mayor?
Fishing derby.
Sorry?
It's okay. Saturday, June 1st, 2 to 5, Spotswood High School. Our annual Woodstock is coming to town again. Classic car show and entertainment. It's always a good time. And our garage sale, Saturday, May 18th, same date as the walk. It's the 18th, 19th. Turn your trash into someone else's treasure. We're looking for everybody to please notify our office upstairs, Kate, by May 10th if you plan on having a garage sale. I believe all the fees are waived this year, yes? Yes. And that's a pretty good day because we lay out a map so everybody can drive around and find the houses a lot easier. It cuts down on traffic and people not being able to figure out where people live. So, also, it's been an exciting week. I attended the National Day of Prayer,
I'll call you in a little bit.
which I thought was, as always, a great day, and we can all use prayer, believe me when I tell you that. And let's see, Saturday afternoon, I went to and got educated at the Spotswood Library. Marilyn Israel taught us about Haiti and the cultures. And I got to tell you, it was I've worked with people from Haiti for, got to be 16 years now. I learned more in 4 hours with her. what goes on with their culture and the flag and what everything means. Very, very proud people, very proud nation. I think it's a great idea. I hope the library does more of them, following in her footsteps and do them on different ethnicities, because it's a good idea to know what else we're faced with in this world, you know? People eat things we don't eat. Culture's a good thing. That evening, I attended the Snuffy Hollow Camporee, which is a big Boy Scout event, which I was a member of for quite a few years, and presented them with our Spotswood Mayor's Cup. And you'll be proud to know I was the only mayor there, because nobody else showed up. But we were well represented, and that's my story. Oh, wait, oh, no. Hot off the press, almost forgot. We have finally, thank you, Lord, finally gotten the okay to go out to bid from the DEP for the Cottage Street projects. So we have got a green flag. So hopefully this summer, people over there will be seeing it's a lot of work getting done.
Awesome. Very good.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Years in the making.
Yep.
Years in the making.
Years in the making. Years in the making.
Ted, did you have anything there?
No.
This time I'll make a motion to open to the public.
Second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Anyone wishing to make any comments, new business? Now's the time.
Cheryl, you're the only backbone.
Cheryl Bass, 289 Main Street. First, let me just cite a minor typing error. Next council meeting, Monday, May 20th.
Not Monday, it's Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And I want to make a comment about the Summerhill Old Stage Road development, because they had voted on it. So I'll first give you the conclusion, and then I'll go back to the beginning. The conclusion is...
Not all the way back to the bidding, Cheryl.
Oh, no, not all the way back. The conclusion is I'm moving. And to start from the beginning, there were about 6 different meetings, and the public was allowed to speak, and people were allowed to come up and testify. And quite a bit was mentioned and talked about and discussed. And at the very end, before the vote was taken, the town lawyer explained to us, he started off by saying Chris Christie, and nobody had mentioned Chris Christie on the microphone. Chris Christie had changed the affordable housing, something with the laws on affordable housing. And nobody had spoken on the microphone that they were against affordable housing, nothing at all like that. So everybody who had come up to the microphone basically was saying, this is not the location for this development. This is a safety factor that we're concerned with, and the lives of the people, and the intersection, and the traffic, and all of the problems that would come from this overdevelopment of that particular site. And the lawyer had thrown in also that South Brunswick had protested when this type of development came to their town, and they fought it in court, and it was a big expense for the town, and if you go to court, it's a big expense. And what we had here in Spotswood years ago, when Helmetta was talking about the snuff factory and the development around the snuff factory, at that point of time, we had going back in time, we had a different mayor, and Governor Corzine at that point of time had changed that development from senior citizens to...
Cheryl, not to interrupt, but I think we all know...
My 5 minutes are up.
No, but I think we all know that you're not the only one that's upset about that being passed. You know that I was at, unfortunately, the only meeting I think I missed was the very last meeting.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, a lot of residents, I believe there was more residents from Spotswood that spoke at those meetings than East Brunswick, and East Brunswick had a good showing too, but there was quite a few Spotswood residents that were there, myself included, that spoke.
Yes. quite a number.
And unfortunately, I think the decisions were made higher than even the town there when the county and state even changed the zoning on that piece of property.
The zoning, the ordinances, the variances, that was all changed.
Right.
But the county, one judge, a county judge, had said, it's fine, you can go right ahead. So that was not brought up until the very end. And then when the volunteers on the planning board, all volunteers, not elected people, they cited that county judge's ruling as bearing upon their decision on the matter. And
It's unfortunate that it passed, and
Very.
none of us are looking forward to it, but unfortunately, we couldn't do anything at the time, and now we still can't do anything. So.
So what I want to say, to finish up, is that when we had the Helmeta project, in discussing how that was resolved, if we go to court, it's a very big expense on the town, and it's going to be difficult for the town to bear that cost and take up time with going to court. It's like there is no resolution, and if you try to make an appeal, you're bankrupting your budget.
In my opinion, Charles, the resolution for this case would have been if the residents of the town got involved earlier, and I'm not saying they didn't do it because they didn't want to. I don't think they were informed.
They were not informed,
Early on.
and Spotswood was not informed
So I
either.
think that's where a difference could have been made. And I feel that that's what's important, to get the information out to the residents before it got to where it got to with that development. And in the future developments, the residents need to know quicker. So, but thank
would-
you for going to the meetings. I saw
Yes.
you there all the time.
Yes, I would think that with a little time, that because of the anger of the residents of the towns, that something will materialize. I really feel that way, and that the winds of democracy will turn around, and things will start to move in our favor. So that is my feeling, because going to the courts, going through the legal system, judges and legal processes would only be bankrupting these towns.
Thank you.
How you doing? Tom Grzybowski, 304 Brunswick Avenue. I was at a deli the other day, and somebody made a comment behind me about our borough workers. And if my word counts for anything with anybody, one way or the other, I would just like to say, in the years I've lived in this town, from 1977 till now, I think the group we have is one of the best groups we've ever had. It seems to me they work together well. There's not all this bickering and games played back and forth, and everything I ever see them doing, they're always doing something. So, like I said, the person who made the comment, I think, is not from our town, but it seems like he, had to make a comment about he was somewhere that he sitting at a red light, or he saw somebody probably standing for 2 seconds and looking at something. So that's one item I would just like to let everyone know. Now, the other item I'm going to bring up, I have a phone full of, again, and I've been here many times, truck problems. Same thing, all through the borough. I have enough pictures in here, I can show you all of them. There's also a truck right now on New Brunswick Avenue, right across from the borough entrance to the borough yard. It's a tandem axle Freightliner. It's from New York. It's been there over a month, parked. It's got commercial tags, everything else on it. It's in a residential neighborhood. It also came down the same street that we've been bringing to your attention and arguing about this for how many years. So I would like to bring it to someone's attention again. I know the police have been stopping trucks. I witnessed it at my house a few weeks ago. But on that hand too, and I think I'll be speaking to either the chief or the captain during this week, because they're gonna have to do more and step it up. With all the trucks coming down Cranberry Road, that's why my phone's full of these These trucks have been coming off Cranberry Road, running New Brunswick Avenue, and like I said last time, I follow them, I have plate numbers. These guys are not making deliveries anywhere in this town. Yesterday, I walked out of the house in between the rain for 2 seconds, and there was a truck coming down from Helmetta Boulevard loaded with telephone poles going over to the S-curves by Sayreville. And with all this stuff going on with the roads, we're going to be repaving and redoing. Well, here's another issue. And my question to Mr. Koch is this. If we're getting grants, are we getting any grants or subsidies from DOT for any of these road repairs?
We do.
Okay, and is there any stipulation that if I'm going to grant you and lend you money to repair your dirty, wretched roads, are you going to enforce things on them to make sure that this money or whatever's being used is going to last the longest it could? Because it's a simple matter of stopping and ticketing. And I spoke to somebody in East Brunswick about it, and their East Brunswick big thing is with their gigantic police department is, well, we would like to, but we're really just so busy. So I don't know, Mayor Seeley, if you ever spoke to the mayor over there, I don't know if this has ever come up. I think I brought that up one other time, and it just seems like between our two towns, there should be more trucks stopped, ticketed, or whatever. And it's constant, like I said, Brunswick Avenue, Old Stage Road, nothing stops.
Well, I know, it's okay if I intervene right there, Council President?
Of course.
I know that I spoke to Mayor Cohen, I know that street's posted now, so if it's posted, we definitely need to step it up at our end. Because it is posted, there's a weight limit now that you
Yeah, I
can't
know.
use that road unless you're coming here for delivery.
Right, correct.
That's the only
As a matter of fact, and I brought this up before, and you could pick anybody's brand you want. I don't care who it is. There's no nepotism to any of them. Every tree guy that is in this town and surrounding town has been using our roads anytime they want. Crescent Avenue, they still run it. I followed E&R the other day all the way down to Cranberry Road. I follow a few of them all the way to Cranberry Road. I had a guy the other day behind me with a box truck, came all the way down Old Stage Road, pulled out behind me from New Brunswick Avenue. He ran all the way up to Cranberry Road where I was going. I was going down Davis's Mill, which when you hit ShopRite, where the warehouse is, there's a signs there. No truck over 4 ton. Well, he was following me all the way to Route 130 because he obviously can't read or nobody's enforcing it.
Well, if you say you're going to talk to
Yeah, I'm going to speak to them because, like I said, I know the one day I was out on the side of my house and there was a triaxle dump trailer in the middle of the lanes parked, and I go, what's he parking here for? And then I saw there was an unmarked police car behind him. They pulled around and pulled him over by the water, the sewage pumping station over there, and they told me he got 2 tickets. But this is, if it's only a certain time of day or something, they're going to have to change all their schedules, which I'm going to address to them because there's 6 o'clock in the morning. My house is shaking up the foundation because these triaxle dump trucks are going through the intersection flying because they know if they go early enough, they're going to get down the road. Nobody's out patrolling or whatever, and they're going to make it through. And it's a constant thing. Every neighbor I talk to is the same thing. If you want a signed petition, I'll get it done. Because every neighbor, even the East Brunswick people talk to me about it. There's the same thing. They're surprised. They're saying, if you're bringing this up, and so let's go to even East Brunswick, the East Brunswick people, bring it up over there at your council meetings. And then I wanted to ask something about the firehouse. They're telling me we're going to be getting a new fire truck. I guess we need one, a big one. Is it proposed that they're going to be building or rebuilding, or you're looking into doing something with our firehouse?
Currently, there are plans to extend the bay internally, getting rid of a room they no longer use, so that truck will fit in the bay. Am I right, guys? In the back there? And in the future, who knows, there may be a firehouse in the future someday.
Yeah, because from my point, from a taxpayer, I noticed at the Borough Yard, we have a fire truck parked in an end bay over there, correct?
That's still there?
Yeah, it was still
And that building's basically a
Like a pole barn.
pole barn. So if need be that we had to, instead of spending millions of dollars in renovating this firehouse, which I understand the doors are kind of narrow regardless, and I mean, they could change that. It's not a big deal like that. But rather than spending millions of dollars to do this, you have a pole barn right there that you can move that office inside that's up against the back of that. You can use that as, it's nothing to cut through that sheet metal or put a header and change the door size. And you could even spin it around and put it in from the front if you don't have enough access to actually back the truck in from the side if it's too long. And that would be a place to house the truck, because there's nothing in that garage that can't be outside anyway. If you were taking a parking spot, the Pelican sweeper, I mean, that's supposed to be outside in the rain and stuff anyway. That's what it's doing. So,
Taking
that in
all
mind.
of
and then one other thing. You're going to pave Adirondack, which that needs for sure. And we were talking about the different grades of asphalt. I've experienced this in the past. When these bids go out, and whoever gets the bids, is there going to be somebody there checking? Like, I know there's different grades of asphalt. Certain streets, if you go on a street that's like, I don't know if it's a highway grade or whatever they consider, it's hard stuff, it lasts. The spec that we'll be getting onto this high-traffic street, is there going to be somebody actually doing like they do on a concrete test when they take a form and they actually take a tube sample and test it, that we know what we're getting, that it's not going to be, we're bidding on one brand or strength asphalt, and then we're going to end up getting something else that's much softer, or down the road it's not going to have the longevity that we need.
So the answer to that is, if it's over 5,000 square yards of material, the DOT requires cores, a minimum of 4, as I recall. It's based on, and you space them out and alternate where they go. And if you're doing base and top, it's to both of the materials. It's tested for compaction, it's tested for the mix, and for air voids. So
Okay.
there is testing when the DOT funds it. That is a requirement, as long as it exceeds a certain volume, which is translated into square yards.
Okay, and then just to be clear with the, about the DOT, if there's actually a, something that they watch with that, where if you're getting grant money, is there anything in place with that, that when we get these grants or these subsidies to help us do roads or make an improvement on them?
You mean to make sure that overweight trucks don't use them?
Correct.
I'm not aware of anything where the DOT governs that.
Because to me, it would seem pretty stupid to lend people money to redo what they want to do, but then they're going to not take care of it at all.
I would imagine they just defer to the police departments for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Tom, thank you. We'll look into I'll speak to the chief of police also about the trucks, and thank you for the kind words with DPW.
Yeah, I'll show you if you want later. I can, the phone's full, but I actually can't fit all of them in here.
Hi, I'm back. In the category of be careful what you ask for, I know I've been very vocal to the mayor about redoing the webpage, which was done, but it's horrible. I'm sorry, it's horrible. I try to find information on there. There is a lot of information that was on the other page that isn't on this page. The minutes for the planning board is not on there. The agendas aren't up there for past, not, Is the page just not done, or are we getting something new? What's going on with it?
It is still a work in progress.
Because it's been up for a while now.
Right.
We are adding things to the page, though, too. I have some projects I'm working on for local businesses, because we want to start putting local business shots across our borough website so people know what stores are in town.
Could we work on getting the information about the township government up to date? There's, I think I went looking to see who was on the planning board right now, and I couldn't find that. It might be there, I couldn't find it. As I said, I just actually open requested the minutes and the agendas, because that's not up there, and I was trying to look for something. If we could be, I want to push business, but if we can get that stuff up there first, so that those of us who do like to read that crap, is up there, I'd appreciate it. And then speaking of the planning board, I've mentioned this to a couple of people, Charlie included, but since I don't ever get to the planning board meetings because it's on the same Tuesday as the Board of Education meeting, this is a small town. There are very few people who are very interested in government business and what happens in this world. So I would like to formally request if someone can please ask the planning board to change their meetings. And I asked them to change their meetings simply because they cancel most of their meetings. There's not that much stuff that shows up on the planning board. But if they could do it on the off Tuesdays, if you want to stay on Tuesdays, or go to Wednesdays, or just not on the same day as the Board of Ed meetings, because then people like me who are interested and want to attend both have to then choose. And if I have to choose, I'm going to go to the people who are spending $27 million a year, as opposed to the planning board. So if we can move that meeting, I just don't think that in a town this small that any important meeting that way should overlap each other. It should, the residents should have the ability to attend all the meetings if that's what they care to do.
We have talked about Dulcie.
Thank you.
I'll look into that again, thanks.
Thanks.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Colleen Ronco, 118 Manalapan Road. First off, I wanted to say that the Municipal Alliance last month went and took the Easter baskets to the children at St. Peter's. We handed out 52 baskets, ranging in age from 0 to 17. So it was a really good experience. We actually had a bunny costume that I had borrowed off of somebody. So the Easter Bunny actually got to visit all of the kids that were there at the hospital. So it was a really good time. As far as the truck situation, I have the same problem on Manalapan Road. I mean, these trucks after midnight fly down that street. I mean, fly down the street to the point of where my bedroom's upstairs and in the back of my house, and my entire bedroom shakes when these trucks go by. So I can understand the trucking situation.
What time is that? What time is it?
It's after midnight. Yeah, it's usually between like midnight and 4 a.m. is where that situation arises. And they're not going into town, they're always going out of town. So they're going towards Helmetta. Very rarely are they coming into town from the Helmetta-Jamesburg area. They're usually going the other way. But the thing that I do hear is because the way my house backs up, I back up to that little stream, the railroad tracks, the other side of Snow Hill. So you can hear them coming down Snow Hill, and then they make that turn, and then they come down Manalapan Road. So it is, I mean, I do understand where he's coming from when he says that that's a problem. A couple of other things. How do I get my dad's name on the wall upstairs with the veterans? Is that?
That would be Kate.
Kate?
Okay.
Kate takes
Your
that
dad was a resident of this town, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, just give it to Kate. We'll put it up there with his years of service.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. A couple of other things. Oprah is supposed to be something where the government is transparent. So when you ask for something, you should be able to get something. And I understand that there's redactions. I've been doing this a long time now. Anybody that's been around Spotswood knows that I went after the Helmetta shelter, so I'm very well versed in Oprah. Trying to get Oprah requests out of this town is nearly impossible. Things are redacted that aren't supposed to be redacted. It takes forever. It's extension on top of extension. I submitted an Oprah request 3 weeks ago. I was asked for an extension. I said no problem. They told me they would have it to me by May 3rd. May 3rd at 3:59, I get another second extension with a letter saying you owe us $563 because you're asking for this paperwork. We're not going to charge you IT fees, which you can't charge me by law. But it's really disappointing that you cannot get anything out of this town with respect to Oprah. I got to be honest with you. If I don't start getting the records that I request, and I understand if there's something that's voluminous in nature and you think that it's too much, I will be more than happy to scope that down if I have to. But if I have to continue to fight and argue and take 3 or 4 months to get Oprah requests, I'm just going to start suing the town for them. Because that's the only way that I can see that I'm going to be able to get the paperwork and the documents that I'm requesting out of this town where it's virtually impossible. This town is not transparent when it comes to this. It's opaque. It is definitely not transparent. And it's not as though there's a ton of Oprah requests that are submitted to this town. It's a small town. There's really nothing going on. It's not like there's a ton of Oprah requests that are submitted. But when we have a situation like we had last month where a tort claim was filed, and I ask for, public records, and you can't get them, and I mean, these are records that should be available, and you can't get them. I mean, what other alternative do I have after I've asked nicely 17 times, granted the extension, and now I'm told second extension? That's not the way Oprah works. You're entitled to one extension, and you have to provide me with all of the fees and everything before you ask for that extension, which wasn't done. So we're on that situation. One of the things that I asked for was for email logs. The email logs have to be done by the IT guy. And I was told that I was going to be charged an IT fee, which can't be charged, and that was in Path versus Gloucester County, where it was determined that an IT guy could simply make a 2-line code, pull the email logs out that the person wanted. I was told that one person has 3,600 pages of email logs. So I did a little calculation. 3,600 pages of email logs at 25 email logs to a page, which is the standard from other towns that I've gotten, is 90,000 emails over the course of 12 months. Now, I'm sorry, I don't believe for 1 minute that there's anybody in this township that is literally spending 266 emails a week going back and forth. I find it hard to believe. I just find it hard to believe. As far as those 3,600 pages, if he's pulling this up on a computer, on a spreadsheet, it can be redacted in a PDF file. You don't need to print out 3,600 pages in order to send it to me. Redact it in a PDF file, stick it in a PDF file, and send it to me. Don't charge me a bill for $563. You're never getting $563 out of me. What I'll do is I'll get 52 people to Oprah request 1 week each. I mean, it's crazy. I'm not beyond the scope of waiting if I have to wait. I get it. But don't tell me you're going to have it by the 3rd, and then on the 3rd tell me, sorry, I need another extension, and not even give me a date as to when the extension's going to be. So, like I said, 90,000 emails over the course of a year. I find that hard to believe. The other thing is, I ran into an individual who ran into a rabbi. And the rabbi is a little upset with the town. Apparently, the menorah is not next to the Christmas tree. I have an issue with this. I'm not Jewish, I'm Catholic, went to Immaculate Conception. But I do have a problem with the holiday spirit and the menorah being behind the building where nobody can see it. Why isn't it next to the Christmas tree like every other town? I'll tell you why. Because Dawn McDonald said it couldn't be. So now we come off as an anti-Semitic town. And I'm sorry, that's exactly what it looks like. When you take a Jewish menorah and you stick it in the back of a building where it can't be seen from the street, but you have a big lighted tree out front, I'm sorry, this town is much more diverse than it was when I went to school here back in the 70s and the 80s.
And I agree with you there, Colleen. I don't know why it's in the back, or I don't want to point fingers or accuse anyone, but we will look into that, and that won't happen next year.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, because the anti-Semitic comment really makes me upset, because this is not an anti-Semitic town.
Not just you.
Stop. 1 second.
Sure.
Just got to clear something up for you. That was me, not Dawn.
So you,
Yeah.
and what was the purpose of that?
I don't consider a Christmas tree a religious tree. I consider it a Christmas tree with a fat guy with a white suit, red suit, giving out gifts.
Okay, but that's a Christian holiday.
Okay? I don't look at it that way. I
Well,
didn't-
you're not the only person
I
in this
didn't,
town.
man. I
There's
did not
8,000 people in this town. You don't get to make that decision, Mayor
finish?
Sealy. No, you can't.
I can't
No,
finish.
you can't, because I don't want to hear what you have to say. You stuck a menorah, a Jewish symbol, in the back of the building, instead of putting it
visible.
out front, excuse me,
Highly visible.
instead of putting it out front where it needed to be with the Christmas tree. You have just insulted every Jew in this town.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you did.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm insulted, and I'm not even Jewish.
Please.
It's an opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. Every other town does it that way.
It's an opinion.
Well, and your opinion sucks, and we all know that.
Colleen,
End of story. I'm sorry. The other thing is, I want to know why Dawn McDonald is allowed to go into the HIPAA files at the EMS. Anybody?
You want to take it?
if you'd like to.
By ordinance, I'm the Director of Public Safety. We had this looked into 2 years ago by our borough attorney, and he did rule that I do have eligibility to have access to those files.
Okay, well, I filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office. She's violating HIPAA. Going in because it's her job is one thing. Going in and going through the files to see who's sick and who isn't sick is somebody else's problem. And it's going to be the Attorney General's problem.
I only go in to respond to complaints.
You're a liar, Dawn.
I am not.
You're a liar. Please. You're a liar. You're a liar. Okay? Don't sit here and blow smoke up my ass and call me a chimney. You're a liar.
Colleen, please.
Okay? I said it last month, I'm going to say it again. She's not qualified. She should be fired from the job, and Mayor Sealy should resign.
Based on hearsay.
Based on her opinion.
Exactly, it's my opinion.
Steve Ronco. So I had the same issue with the Oprah request. So I came in a couple days ago. The clerk wasn't there, so I dealt with this person over here on the corner. I'm sorry, I don't know her name, which gave me a big attitude. Told me I had to fill out the Oprah request form in its entirety. I did it anonymously. I put it for on-site inspection of attorney invoices, which is immediate access, without delay. I was told by her, Miss McDonald, that I will not get it. They called the police on me. The lieutenant came up, talked to the financial person and said, oh, we can have it for you by 2 o'clock. Great. You're not getting anything until we redact it. So I get an email, I believe it was the next day, saying that it's going to be $2.70. It's immediate access. I'm not paying anything. I shouldn't have to. And I did it anonymously without an email address, without anything. So why is somebody even emailing me? It was for an on-site inspection. I mean, I just don't get it. So that's going to cost the town a bunch of money that it's immediate access, plain and simple. I also got the same issue. May 3rd, I was asked for an extension to May 3rd. I granted that as long as I got the tort claim unredacted. I was told by the clerk that I would get a phone call after she spoke to the attorney. Still haven't gotten anything.
Right.
So, what's the excuse on that?
Steve, I know you and Colleen are a lot more well-versed at the Oprah laws and everything, so I can't sit up here and tell you you're wrong or right or indifferent. I don't know as well as you two do.
Invoices are immediate access.
But it's something that I will look into and question why it's been taking so long and what the holdups
But
are.
same thing with the tort claim. I mean, is it Spotswood policy to bribe officials?
The tort claim was released somehow unredacted.
No. By the township, it was redacted. Part of the redaction was the bribery. And according to the email I got, said about policy. So then it's officially the policy of Spotswood to bribe police chiefs.
Well, I don't think that's what it meant to say.
Well,
But
that's how I read it.
the tort was redacted by our attorney.
Well, he's wrong. I mean, do you have grievance forms?
Do I have them? No.
No. Does the township have grievance forms? Right?
Yeah?
There's no forms. It's
No.
just a memo for a grievance.
Okay.
Okay, so a tort claim is not a grievance. In the email I got saying it's a grievance, and it could be, no, it's not a grievance, it's a claim. And then it spoke about them being, having privacy rights. You're public officials. It's not a personnel matter, it's a tort claim. Obviously, the tort claims be about public people. So it needs to be released unredacted, or only redacted where it's legally allowed to, or you're going to be sued. I mean, I know Oprah, your attorney obviously doesn't. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'd like to know why the police were called on me too, for asking for Oprah stuff.
I don't know what the situation was. I wasn't here, Steve.
I mean, everything was recorded. I mean, so I mean, it's just ridiculous. Ms. McDonald called me a bully, but according to the tort claim, she's the bully. So I mean, you're just trying to deflect onto other people what you actually are. I mean, the grievances are separate from a tort claim. The tort claim needs to be released by the township unredacted immediately. Township, borough, whatever the case is. You guys need to
Once again,
release it.
I'd have to defer to my attorney for that.
He's going to cost money.
Well,
He's wrong.
I can't release. I'm not an attorney though, Steve. If
Sure.
if our attorneys are advising us that this is how it has to go, then that's, you know.
I'm telling you, he's wrong.
Well, I'll question him again for you.
Well, but I asked you to contact me after you spoke to. Actually, you told me you're going to call me afterwards. I still haven't gotten a phone call.
I didn't have an answer at that moment after I had the meeting.
How many days ago is it now?
You got an answer on May 3rd?
This was, but I spoke to you about it, and you never responded to me about the tort claim. And today's Monday. I gave you till Monday to get me all that stuff. I asked for emails and stuff like that, and again, I get the same thing, couple $100 for emails. Why is that?
It was on the advice of our attorney.
Your attorney's going to cost you a lot of money, because now I'm going to start Oprah requests the hell out of this town, and I'll just continue.
Charlie, it's fine. Colleen Ronco, 118 Manalapan. There's been a lot of talk about this tort claim. First of all, for the record, I'm the one that posted it online. It was right underneath my name. Everybody knows that. I got a copy of the tort claim for these two sitting down here who have insulted my family in the municipal building, who have threatened my family in the municipal building, and who has all gotten back to me. That tort claim, for the record, so that we can there's no misunderstanding as to where the tort claim came from, was on my front porch step the day after the tort claim was filed. Where it came from is as good as yours. I mean, anybody, I don't know. It was on and as a matter of fact, it's not the first time I've gotten something anonymously. You know, when you do the kind of crap I do, you get stuff that's anonymous all the time. But that's where it was. So you can stop going around saying you're going to call the Attorney General on me. Call them. I will be more than happy to talk to the Attorney General. More than happy. But the two of you threaten my family again, this is going to be a whole new ballgame.
I don't think I've ever threatened your family.
Yeah,
man.
okay, Ed.
Nor have I.
Just like you didn't threaten anybody in the tort claim either.
I didn't.
Yeah, okay. That's your opinion.
Thank you.
Gary Wallace, 277 Brunswick Avenue. I'd just like to know why Dawn is not suspended without pay until this matter is resolved. And if she's innocent, we reimburse her. Right now, if she's guilty, we're losing money. I don't understand this. I mean, I'm a taxpayer. I've been here for 40 years, so I just want to know.
So I know I've been saying it a lot tonight, but we've been in discussion with our attorneys, and we're doing what we're being advised to do at this time.
Okay.
Any other comments from the public?
I have to do something positive.
Sure.
I just want to say, when you read that resolution about the parks, our parks in this town have really come a long way. Monday Avenue is a great park. The only thing you need to do is put a fence or something where the walkway is across Monday Avenue, because the little kids start running, and they're like, there's a white line, and it looks like they should run right through. And also, Michael Road Park. I mean, that's where I used to take I took them a couple of times. That used to be terrible, Michael Road Park, because of all the glass and the kids that used to hang out there. It's really nice now. You put a new playground thing up and stuff. But we have a great town here, guys. It's just a shame that some of the people are not what we want to have as our representatives. So please talk to your lawyers and get some movement, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marilyn Israel, 10 June Road. I want to talk about the park, really. The other day, I was walking, I always walk in Spotswood, so I went to the Michael Road Park, what Anne is talking about, and then my grandkids, they were there, but I think the park need more things like slide, or those reloads, because it's really old. Only the swing, they were good, the swings, but the park need more stuff for the kids, because we were close, we can just walk, That's a really nice park, really. So we need to take care of it, Yeah. And then I want to say, thanks for Mr. Mayor who came to my presentation on Saturday. It was a great success. I know if you could come, you would come. So I email you guys, you didn't email me back. But that's okay.
We'll have to lock the gate, don't worry.
But I was really amazed, how Spotswood is really what the sign said, the friendly community. I was amazed, how many people came to hear about the culture. I was amazed. And I want to thank even the one who couldn't make it. They sent nice comment to me on Facebook, positive things. The people said it was very informative, they learned a lot, like Mr. Mayor said, and the food was good, right? I cook it. But I'm planning to do another one, but it will be next year, in the another location because the library is too small. I see like a lot of people want to come, but the library is too small. You cannot bring a lot of people because I did it in that little conference room because I need the TV. But I want to do another one. But I'm really, really happy that I can see people cares, and I have even couple people sign up that they want to do it, And about my event, I still want to do my event. Okay, you promise, Charlie. Okay, I'm still working on it, and I still want people. I still want to do it in April. Okay, next April it will be a multiple event. I'm working on that, and I want that for Spotswood. Because it's a friendly community. I really, really do that little small town. I never regret I came back here. And then I just want to say, sometimes things happen for a reason. I'm really amazed, like I met you guys. If I wasn't running, I would never know you guys. So things happen for a reason, So I love you guys, because I'm very friendly and everybody is my friend. That's the way I am, I don't have negative thought. No, it's positive, everything. And then the other things, this is for Mr. Engineer. My daughter, we are planning to move in Ziminski, and then she said to me to ask if it's possible to put a speed bump on Ziminski. She's going to be living on 103.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm the messenger. Sorry. Is that possible or not?
Well, it's an administrative decision. Could one physically be built? Probably. But it would be an administrative decision, probably with the input from the chief of police.
Oh, okay. I will let her know. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for appointing me to be your representative for the trustee of the library. I'm so honored to do it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're a good hard worker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments from the public?
Make a motion to close the public session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We do have a closed
Next
session.
meeting is May 20th.
No, we have a closed session.
We have a closed session tonight.
Closed session?
Yeah.
Well, the closed session at the end. I mean, at the beginning, you talk.
Sorry?
When did you announce that?
Was it on the website?
No, it's going to be announced during the meeting in the beginning.
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
On the agenda.
Yeah.
Next meeting is Monday, May 20th. Okay?
Shall I read the resolution?
Yes.
Whereas Section
Well,
8 of the
Vermont will be
Open
here.
Public Meeting Act,
Otherwise,
Chapter 231 PL 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general subject matter to be discussed at this time is pending litigation. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public when confidentiality no longer is required. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening.
Accept the resolution.
Make a motion to accept the resolution?
Second it.
Second, everybody.
All in favor?
Aye.
There will be no action.
No action
Meeting.
after a closed session, so thank you all for coming out this evening.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to close the close?
Second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're going to reopen the meeting.
Make a motion to open the meeting?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody there?
They're gone.
No.
Good.
Make a motion to close.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.